Hundreds of years ago, in a dry and windswept land known as Varastra, there lived a young king named Arvind. Varastra had once been a thriving kingdom filled with gardens, lively markets, and families who greeted each sunrise with hope. But over the decades, the rivers had thinned, the soil had hardened, and the joy of the people had slowly faded away. What remained was a struggling nation, and a king too inexperienced to understand the weight of the crown on his head. Arvind had grown up in comfort, behind marble walls and guarded gates, unaware of the true state of his land. Though he had inherited the throne, he had never truly learned to rule. While reports of hunger, unrest, and drought reached him almost daily, Arvind convinced himself that the problems were exaggerated or temporary. His pride whispered that he was in control, even as the kingdom trembled under his feet. Advisors warned him. Villagers begged for help. But Arvind believed leadership meant appearing strong even if that strength was nothing more than stubborn denial. One night, as the moon cast pale light over the silent palace, a mysterious old man entered the throne room without guards stopping him. No one knew how he bypassed the gates, and Arvind stared at him in a mix of fear and confusion. The old man bowed and said, "Your Majesty, I am servant of your father." Arvind frowned. "My father's servants died long ago." Kavian shook his head. "No, my king. Your father asked me long before his death to come to you when you began to lose your way. Today is that day." Arvind felt anger rise in him. "Lose my way? You dare question my leadership?" Kavian's eyes were calm. "It is not the drought destroying Varastra. It is the drought inside your heart, the drought of truth, humility, and courage." The words struck Arvind in a way he could not explain. Something within him trembled. His anger melted into an uneasy silence. Kavian stepped closer and said softly, "If you wish to save your kingdom, you must first learn to see it. Not from this throne, but from the ground." The next morning, Arvind removed his royal robe, disguised himself in plain clothing, and followed Kavian beyond the palace walls. It was the first time he had walked through his kingdom not as a king, but as an ordinary man. He saw homes turned to ruins by storms and neglect. He saw children with tired eyes waiting for water that never came. He heard the painful stories of widows who had lost their families, farmers who worked for months without a single harvest, and merchants who had abandoned their trade because there was nothing left to sell. For the first time, Arvind felt the heavy truth. He was ruling a kingdom he didn't understand. Kavian became his mentor, strict, but wise. As they traveled, he taught Arvind 3 lessons every ruler must learn. Pride blinds the eyes before it crushes the kingdom. Fear chains the heart long before the enemy arrives. Ignorance is not a lack of knowledge, it's the refusal to seek it. Arvind listened. He learned. He changed. He worked with the farmers, carrying water under the sun. His hands blistered, but he didn't stop. He slept beside travelers in cold nights. He helped rebuild broken homes. He learned how hard the simplest part of life could be for those without power. Slowly, Arvind shed the boy he had been. He grew into a man who understood suffering, hope, and responsibility. Months later, Kavian looked at him and said, "Now you understand what your father meant. A king is not the one who stands above his people, but the one who stands with them." It is time to return. When Arvind re-entered Varashtra's capital, people stopped and stared. He no longer walked like a ruler isolated in his own pride. He walked like someone who had carried their pain on his own shoulders. Arvind immediately began rebuilding his kingdom. He reformed the tax system to support the poor. He created a council of common villagers to voice their concerns directly. He funded irrigation channels and water storage systems. He punished corrupt officials and rewarded honest ones. He made laws fairer, trade easier, and life safer. Slowly but surely, Varashtra began to rise again. But peace never lasts without challenge. One evening, an ambitious former general named Shorak rebelled, claiming Arvind's kindness made him weak. A battle erupted between Arvind's loyal forces and Shorak's rebels. Instead of watching from the safety of the palace, Arvind rode to the front lines. Standing among his soldiers, he said, "Today we fight not for me, but for the future of every child in Varastra. Stand with courage. I will stand beside you. His bravery inspired the soldiers. Shurak was defeated. The rebellion ended. Years passed. Varastra flourished. Rivers flowed once more. Fields turned green. Trade increased, and Arvand became known not as a king of privilege, but as a king of the people. When Arvand eventually passed away at an old age, the entire kingdom mourned. Citizens gathered in the thousands, whispering, "He was not great because he wore a crown. He was great because he learned to carry our burdens as his own." And history remembered this lesson. Before a man can change the world, he must first change himself. Thanks for subscribe.